Greetings, guys. Welcome to a brand new episode of Redemption for Rotten. I'm your host, MrYazMan300, and joining me now once again is will be my favorite host, Kai. How are you
Oh,
doing, Kai?
thank you. I'm doing quite well, more or less. I mean, the last few days had been, let's just say, filled with stuffings. Most of the time, my belly,
Yeah,
and you can assume the Christmas times.
yeah,
It's always like sitting together with friends and family, and lots of good food. So yeah.
yeah. I'm also was doing well this weekend. I mean, I don't celebrate Christmas. Some people might not know I'm not Christian. I'm Muslim, but I know you're. I don't know if you're religious or not, but we're okay. We don't judge people in this podcast. So, so how are you, Kai? Because God, I forgot. We did actually. What was that? It's another moon themed movie. A Moonfall last podcast, right? I said our last.
Oh yeah.
That's reviewed.
Could be.
Yeah, we had Andy.
I was thinking whether we had something in between, but I think Moonfall was the last one.
Yeah.
Some time ago.
Let's see. Oh yeah, it was Moonfall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. When did I
Yeah. What
release
what
it?
what a what a
4 months
what a
ago,
stinker!
actually. At in
What a
July,
stinker of a
actually. It's
movie.
people would not know.
July. I thought it was like in
I
spring or
published the
so.
episode. I think in the ending of July, so maybe a few days before it.
Yeah. Right.
Um, for a moment I thought I lost you, but never mind. Because it was a little bit framey, but now everything is working well. But at least the
Yeah.
audio is important. That's the most important thing because people want to hear us.
That's
They don't
good.
want to see us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man. So, man, you know what? Because well, people might be wondering, okay, where have you been like for all this time? Some life stuff happened in my life, and I had to, nothing major stuff, but I got busy and stuff with work and other important stuff, so I had to put the podcast on hold. And I tried to see if I ever got the chance to come back to try to do it. And right now, I think with today's actually, it was like, you know what? I'm just at least release one episode before the end of the year. You can tell.
Yeah, and I think we've taken a very very interesting spot for this one. So we are still doing the Redemption of the Rotten
Yeah, yeah,
logo in front of it.
yeah. We're still doing it, and
It's it,
also,
it's it, I think this is the first one where we are in 1 week of release of it
yeah,
or
because
like the
because it's
general
on
release.
Netflix. I think people,
Yeah.
but of course, by when you click the title of the episode, you already know we're doing Rebel Moon Part One. Was it a Child of Fire or that Child of Fire?
Child of Fire, yes. And the second one is the Stargiver.
Yeah,
Scargiver.
Scargiver. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about the title later when we go into the movie, but because originally we haven't decided what were we gonna do. We can't say if we're gonna do like Godzilla or what was it, the Baywatch movie. I mean
We
Godzilla,
yeah we yeah
the
we wanted to do.
1998 one, not any of the new ones.
I mean we've been putting the original. I mean it's Roland Emmerich Godzilla for quite some time. Been very very high on our list.
Yeah,
So I'm still looking forward to it.
yeah. I actually, Godzilla, we have more love to say than Moonfall, especially what he does in the film. The
Yeah.
mayor and his assistant, that's a story on its own, what he did with them. And we need Andy for this one. Any
Yes.
Ron Emmerich movie, we have to get Andy for it.
Yeah. I think unfortunately he wasn't available
Yeah, he
for
was
this one.
unavailable. And then we
So
thought
we decided.
Baywatch, but then some stuff happened.
Yeah.
We got busy. But when I say some stuff, I'm not talking anything major, just for the listeners and viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
All right. We're about to like 5 minutes. Do you want to add anything else you want to talk? You might mention before we move on. What you were doing?
What I've been doing. Not much actually.
Yeah.
It's lots of stuff happening at work, and sort of stuff happening here, over there, playing some games
Yeah.
as usual. I'm trying to rework some things for my new Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I'm currently doing, and yeah, it's different things that are occupying my mind here and there. So it's right now it's basically sorting everything out and having a right time slot for everything. It's
Mm.
sometimes I'm in this chaotic phase where I have 20 projects happening.
Apologies, guys, for listening and watching. We experienced some connection errors. I got disconnected, but we're back. We apologize. So you were talking, Kyle. So you were talking about Dungeons and Dragons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that. It's I'm writing here and there some kind of adventures that I publish on the DM's Guild, which is some sort of like um uh, let's just say marketplace where you can download some Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And
Mm.
I've been trying to come up with some ideas over the years. I published at least two new things over there. I wanted to do four this year. I only did two, but I basically also had like this thing over there, and this over there, and this over there, and didn't really finish any of those. So the usual thing that I have. No, and I had a new campaign with a new friend group. Or basically, I started a new campaign with another friend group that I had, where they wanted to have a certain specific.
And we apologize, guys, again for the second time. My PC was going through some issues, and like I said, I apologize to you, Kai, for everything. Do you want to
That's
continue
okay.
talking about D&D, or afraid that might jinx the screen?
Yeah, maybe if I start talking about D&D for a third time, then I think I'm screwing up your PC completely.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, probably it's the he's I think referring to if he's hearing Dungeons and Dragons, he's having a fear of running Baldur's Gate 3 on your PC or something like that.
Yeah. I
have
still
you have
haven't
you
played
have
the game. I played Alan Wake 2. That's the last game I played. I'm playing now Street
Yeah.
Fighter 5. I mean 6.
Yeah, I've been playing Spider-Man 2 recently. I platinumed it
Mm.
even. So if I'm doing a platinum thing, that stands out because I'm still in the single digits with regards to platinum, making a platinum for a game.
Mm.
So
Also, I
I
recommend also Alan Wake 2. That's also an easy platinum.
oh, it is. No, it's I think the most frightening thing, because a friend of mine also speaks highly of it, but he's having
Is it
issues
Joe?
also. No, it's a personal direct friend group of mine. Um, but it's like playing horror games, and it's not really our thing. Neither what the friend does nor myself, because I've actually never played a horror game. Um, and so it's also I didn't play the first one. So I'm kind of like staying away from those things. If it would be going more in a Max Payne direction, then I would be going for it. But having like running around in the dark and having some kind of like frightening moments, that's not really my cup of
Mm.
tea, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You mentioned Max Payne. We should have that movie also in an episode podcast also.
Oh yeah.
And that's a
Oh
talk
yeah.
about terrible movie.
Oh
Who
yeah.
do you think we
I
should get
mean,
for that episode? Andy or Joe? Who do you think would be more fun?
I think Andy at that point.
I mean, at this point, we should have it for him on every episode. Have him be our guy. He'll be representing the audience.
Yeah, I mean, if he likes those kinds of bad-ish movies, and also like if Mark Wahlberg does Mark Wahlberg stuff, I think this is a general winner for this.
Yeah. It's by the director of Die Hard. What was it? Five, if I'm not mistaken. Is the one in Russia? That's five, right?
Yes, that's
Yes.
the
Yeah,
five
that's the same
one.
director.
Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what else we got? Anything else we want to bring up? Oh yes, do you want to mention anything about Star Trek?
Oh no, actually, right now it's we are in this limbo phase because if you're looking back for the last couple of months, we had been seeing bangers and bangers and bangers with regards to Lower Decks coming out. We had Stranger Worlds coming out, and now in the last couple of months there has been nothing. There's the only thing that's on the plate that's coming in the near future is Discovery season 5,
When is
and
that coming out?
the other thing is probably Lower Decks season 5 sometime next year.
That's
And due to the
confusing. Do you mean to say Discovery? Because I think you said Lower Deck season 5.
yeah, both are in
Oh,
season
both are in
5.
season 5.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Discovery is basically starting. I think they recently mentioned the start date recently, but it was like spring 2024.
Alright, they stopped everything because of the strike.
Yeah, that no. Also, they ended shooting basically around 2022, and they wanted to start it in 2023, but at some point early this year they said that they canceled Star Trek Discovery after season 5. So they had to do some reshooting
Oh,
and stuff like
to
that
make it like and to give it a new
to
ending.
make like a complete ending. And yeah, it's at that point it's big question what's coming after it. Most of the things it's basically the Star Trek Academy show that they wanted to have. Um,
Are these moving now to Netflix now, Frappis? Because I know Prodigy moved to
no, no,
Netflix.
no, this is Prodigy. This is just Prodigy at that point. Right now, Prodigy is the only thing that's not coming to Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And Paramount Plus is also a different kind of topic right now. Basically, what's coming up right now is shooting Strange New Worlds season 3. They basically started at the beginning of the month. And by the end of next month, they're going to start the Section 31 long track,
Is this the one
which
with
I'm
Michelle
looking.
Yeoh?
Yes,
Uh,
that's
is
the
this the
one.
one that's going to be a movie or a TV show? Because I'm getting confused.
Yes, this is now basically a made for streamer movie.
Oh, Paramount Plus movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So basically, if you're looking through the releases in the last couple of years, they had one thing called short tracks, which was like a
This
10 to 15 minutes
I
bite-sized
have not
mini
seen it, but I heard
episode.
of them.
Yeah, there are, I think 10 episodes out. You can see them on Paramount Plus. And I think at some point they were saying like, okay, let's do a longer version of it. And for some time they were talking about making a TV show with Michelle Yeoh, with her character Emperor Giorgio, with regards to Section 31. So they had some kind of exit for her on Discovery, and afterwards they were saying like, okay, this could be a jumping off point for her own TV series.
Yeah.
But then this very great actress got an Oscar.
Yeah.
She got very very busy,
But her
and
salary
I
also
think
got
it's
increased. That's another thing.
yeah, I think they basically no got the idea that okay, maybe we cannot book her for an entire TV show right now, so it's just like a movie. And also, it's very interesting also that they were saying like she's basically the driving force behind this movie. So
Is
it's
she good as a
very interesting.
producer on the movie?
Could be. I'm not really sure what kind of like
I
producer
think
credits are going.
yeah, because sometimes you hear story about that. By the way, that's my slipper. If you hear something fell, nothing.
That's okay.
Uh, because you will hear stories about how sometimes like Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, he got produced because he was the hand, and so maybe
Yeah.
something like this. But I don't know how
Yeah,
creatively she's involved.
I would also assume. I mean, thinking about like I think Patrick Stewart got producer credits starting from Star Trek Insurrection. Also got producer credits for Picard, of course.
He didn't get
Um,
producer credit on Nemesis.
I think he also did, but
Because I
it's
know what's his name. Brent Spiner wrote the Nemesis, right?
he co-wrote it. So
Uh,
basically, the story was from him. But I think um, the screenplay itself was written by this one guy who did Gladiator, I think.
John Logan, right?
Yes,
I think
exactly.
that's the guy who also did Skyfall. He also wrote Skyfall and Spectre.
Yes, he was very prolific back in the day, and it was at that point he was a very high get for writing this thing, but eventually,
The move.
let's just say it like that.
Let's just say we'll keep it another topic on the podcast. We know we have to do some Star Trek movies,
Yeah, yeah. I
and I
think
know
at
pretty
some
sure if we
point
bring Star Trek movie, we have to bring also the why does God needs a spaceship? That's also another thing.
yeah, Star Trek 5 is definitely on the list. Um,
This
and
one last part Star Trek thing, Kai. 5 or Nemesis?
Nemesis.
Do you prefer Nemesis over 5?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, definitely. I
Basically, don't
actually
give Mick Shanter direct a movie. That's what you're saying. Even if it's
actually recently rewatched Star Trek 5 for some reason. Um, it
oh,
wasn't really that bad, but it wasn't also not that good.
I've seen what's their name? The dance sequence in the desert.
Oh, you mean the Michelle Nichols dance
What's their
scene where she
character again?
Uhura.
His, we don't know how to pronounce her name well. You know what? For 5, we need to get Andy. That's a movie we need Andy for.
Yeah, yeah. Also the fun thing that there are two interesting tidbits just around this movie. There's one thing where Captain Kirk is basically having this one T-shirt with the written thing "Go climb a rock," which is becoming its own meme. And the other thing there was, I think,
The row your boat scene. They have to sing.
no, not the row your boat scene. There is a very interesting behind the scenes interview by William Shatner where they're talking about what Captain Kirk is doing during this movie, and it was like filled with random quotes that he was talking about, and it's wild just looking at this interview because it's like he's describing Captain Kirk is climbing a mountain. Why is he climbing a mountain? To hug the mountain, to embellish this mountain.
Was
And
he
at
high when
some
he was
point,
saying this? It sounds like he was
I have
high.
no idea. Maybe
Oh
he
no.
was high with
Because that
um
explains that the aliens
fresh
got the free
air with it.
breast. That explains.
No, it's basically an interview directly on the scene where they shot the scene in Yellowstone National Park. And he's just sitting there and stuff like that. And they made a song out of this interview. And this is magnificent. I can
You know
give you the
what?
link up.
Whenever the next Star Trek show premieres, we gotta make this a review, and we have to get Andy for it, just to make
Yeah,
him suffer watching this.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
Star Trek 5 is a wonder by itself.
yeah. And also in February, we have to put this on the list. The live action Netflix Avatar Last Minutes premiere. We have to do it Shyamalan's Airbender for this.
Okay, I actually never seen it, so that's going to be interesting.
Well, it is a masterpiece on its in a different way than what Shyamalan wanted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I think we spoke enough about other stuff. Let's talk. And people who hear the one, especially the Snyder fans, they want hear us talk
Oh
about
yeah.
the.
And just as a comparison, I think still the highest watched episode of Redemption of the Rotten was the Man of Steel episode, right?
And how many of them actually did watch the episode? That's a good question. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the statistics, that's a completely different thing. I mean, it's basically probably, if I would assume, just throughout the first seconds of it, a very high peak, and then it's slowly going downwards.
you basically describe the episode viewership.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen those curves very very often.
Yeah. Not the episode. You know what? At least I'm prefer for Man of Steel because talking about the good movies Zack Snyder directed, people. You know what? I'm not gonna go into Man of Steel the debate. If you want to listen to Man of
Yeah,
Steel, go watch our episode.
yes. Go watch this episode, which was a very fun one.
First of all, watch this. We need to get the views, then watch this, the other one.
Yes.
All right. We should begin. So where were we? Yes, Zack Snyder. So,
Rebel Moon,
uh,
Part 1, A Child of Fire.
do you think that's what would have been called if it was a Star Wars movie that he originally wanted to make? Do you have called it a child? What do you think he would have called it?
I think A Child of Fire would have been a title for it. I think because it's like so generic in its premise, and still looking at the movie, I don't know who the Child of Fire actually is.
That's everyone's question from the title. Who is the child
Ah,
of fire?
crap! I'm not the only one.
Everyone's like, okay, who's the because if he's trying to be Sophia Patella, he could have said the child of war because there's a scene in the movie she says, "I'm the child of a war." That would have made sense because we now
Yeah,
because no, this is the two part. The second part is called Scargiver, and that's supposed to be her because that's her
yeah,
nickname, right?
yeah,
Or basically just call it Rebel Moon Part One or Part Two, like what they're doing with Dune.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could be, but it's not really like um actually mentioned throughout the movie what that there is a Child of Fire or stuff like that. So
Is this supposed to be the princess that they're saying? Because I don't think that's this child of fire. Because
the
I don't know
thing
if I
is,
would describe her as the child of fire. Because what she was
yeah,
basically,
but this child only appears for like a short scene, so it's not really like a center of the movie itself.
and also I'm not watching what that Snyder cut of the movie just to find out what's this child of
I mean,
fire.
it's basically I've seen TikToks recently about if you would rename the Star Wars movies by itself, and if you would change them completely by renaming them, like if you would take Episode 3 and you would call it Attack of the Clones, this would actually make more sense
Hmm.
with regards to other things. And I kind of have the same feeling here. I mean, if you would have spoilers for the end of the things, that this princess that's being just mentioned in this one, if she has a bigger role or bigger part of the story in the second part, I would call this part then like Child of Fire, whereas this would be then Scargiver, because you're basically following the path of Sophia Botella's character, and
Yeah.
she's the Scargiver. So I don't know.
Maybe
That's
that
just
maybe the execs at Netflix just like okay I don't know maybe they were supposed to say Scarf just like they got mixed up. It's like just a research we don't care to fix it.
yeah, could be. I mean, there's so many questions that I have afterwards. After this film.
Just before we begin,
Um,
let's answer this question. Do you
Yeah.
plan on watching the extended cut that he's saying he's going to release?
Yes, definitely. Yes, I'm going to watch this. Because I have the feeling that there is the possibility of a better explanation for things that are happening throughout the movie. And I think those have been just cut out most of the times.
And later, now he also
Because
mentioned he's doing the same thing also with the second movie.
crap. I mean, it's basically all a Batman v Superman all over again at that point. Because whenever I was watching this in the cinema, I didn't really vibe with the entire movie by itself. But when I watched the extended version of it, I really felt the movie much better. So it's really elevated from a baffling, I don't know whether I think this movie is good, to, oh, this is actually a good movie. And if we are talking about, or most of the times, of this interesting quote by Greg Miller, when he was saying like Batman v Superman is a good movie. And I always, if I would be making this quote, I would always have this like sub sentence afterwards, like, but only the extended version, because the theatrical cut of it, I never really thought this was like a
I did
good
not like the
package.
theatrical cut. At least the extended cut. At least it gave me some explanation and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
but I feel like they
exactly.
didn't dive much to it. Like I think that, and I think what was it? The extended cut. They kind of hint like, oh yes, Lex is working with the I think Dark Side because it's one scene. But then I have not seen what was it? The Justice League. Did you watch the Snyder cut of Justice League?
Yeah.
Did they hint in that movie that Lex had was working with Darkseid and Apocalypse?
Yeah, to some degree.
Yeah, because I have not seen because I'm not watching. I spent 4 hours watching it. Also,
I've like watched it like 2 years ago. Maybe I'm
yeah, because
forgetting also
I
some
don't want to. I
parts
don't
here.
want to make you rewatch it.
Yeah, but it was more cohesive and more. I'm really following the story, and it's elevating more like the connection that I'm making with it as a viewer, of regards to what was shown in the
It gives
theatrical
more
cut.
explanation to what's happening in Africa and the council meeting.
Yeah, and coming, because we were mentioning the I was talking earlier, we were talking at the podcast about like Dungeons and Dragons and
Yeah,
stuff. And one of the things that I'm currently also looking at is basically what kind of like world building they're doing throughout those things. And I would assume that you would get more information about what actually, because you're traveling throughout a different variety of planets and civilizations and stuff like that, and everything has its own vibe, its own history and stuff like that, and it's just like scratch the surface to some degree. And I would really like to see what actually is the background story for each planet that they're visiting. And because I think most of the time it's just like plot happens to some degree, that it's just like propelling forwards. Um, because otherwise, compared to other movies, you would have like a stop, kind of like having a look at what's happening over here and stuff like that, and then you progress to the next thing. And here's just like scene after scene after scene after scene with new locations, new characters and stuff like
and how
that.
much do you think
It's
is the new scenes are slow mo?
multiple times.
Yeah. And by the way,
Multiple.
we mentioned Greg, but let's not forget Greg also is the guy who's saying almost like Dirty Grandpa's to be a masterpiece, and we know how that movie is.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, man. Basically, don't trust Craig when it comes to movie opinions.
Sometimes he also has good good ideas and good quotes, but not with regards to Batman v Superman.
You know what? If I had an intro, I would have him, post an image of him when he was Wonder Woman, and then edit it out just to give people some nightmare fuel. Okay.
Yep.
And
So, what was your impression about the movie?
and Rebel Moon, or you want to like
Yes.
for a second? I was even asking about Batman v Superman.
Just in general.
To tell you the truth, I had to refresh myself reading the Wikipedia after watching the film because I saw it yesterday and I actually forgot some stuff about the film. I mean,
Yeah.
you might. It's a forgettable movie. That's how I'll say this.
The thing is, just at the beginning, I was talking yesterday with my best friend about it, who was watching this movie also throughout the last couple of weeks, days, and we basically had the same thing at the beginning. We had to rewind the opening monologue 3 times just to get the things that the things that Anthony Hopkins is saying, Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Talking about someone who's wasted, who got at least a good paycheck. I hope he got paid.
But he's basically giving away like what is this world actually, and we had to rewind 3 times separately from each other just to get everything like the entire story right.
I thought you said you wanted because you want to see the vagina whose portal is kept.
That's another thing.
Okay,
thing.
now
That was basically the first idea that I had, and
that's actually everyone's idea. That's the first thing I opened yesterday Twitter. That was the first image I saw in my Twitter feed.
Yeah. It's I think the movie came out at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was watching it around 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And the first scene that I'm seeing, like, first of all, this starship looks like a giant fucking dick. And this
you know what? This is actually, you know what? We should apologize for the dick spaceship in Man of Steel after seeing it.
Yeah, it's basically much longer than that.
Yeah.
And this dick flying through a giant vagina, space vagina, so to say, and you definitely know, okay, this giant space empire is fucking the entire galaxy. It's really subtle in its context that it's like smacking you over the face. I mean, compared to the first scene in Star Wars, where you have this like big Star Destroyer coming in from above, and you see this like small rebel ship flying away from it, and you just see the vastness of the Empire, that this small rebel group does not have any chance at all of winning against it. And here you're just seeing like, okay, this galactic empire is fucking the entire galaxy.
Something tells me you're going way too deep. You're thinking way over too deep with it.
That was the immediate first thought that I got. The immediate first thought. I didn't really like think about it like 5 or 10 minutes. Just during this credit. So therefore I had to rewind it 3 times because I was so baffled by this scene.
God, where's Andy when you need him?
It really stood out.
Should I clip this spot and send it to Andy? Because
Maybe.
I feel like maybe he can give us a better explanation.
Maybe, but it really stood out for me.
God.
Maybe you can also like clip this out on TikTok or something like that, because
I think this
way
would get
too
us
old.
banned if we mention vagina and dicks.
I'm not saying against it, but getting banned on TikTok.
Do they post a clip of that scene on TikTok? I'm pretty sure people are posting it up there.
Crap.
You know what?
It's a great start for this podcast.
Like I said, I wish Andy was here. God. Well, why aren't you here, Andy? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what was I talking? Oh, yes, that's vagina and dick.
Yeah, this giant vagina.
Okay, so we with Anthony Hopkins and everything. Basically, the story is that there was a king who was played by what's the guy from Princess Bride? What's his name? The actor. But that's that plays the king.
I was still thinking about Men in Tights, Carrie Elves,
Oh yeah, that's him. Carrie.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was also the doctor in the first Saw movie. Man. So you find out that he was the emperor. He got killed. Him and his family. And does this remind you of the sort of that? What's his name? The Russian Empire, Rasputin's was.
I was getting big Foundation vibes actually to some degree because
Oh.
they were saying like they've been like living for several thousands of years and stuff like that. They always like progress
Well, I know
their
what's the name.
gene
What's the name?
line.
That was the inspiration for Bioshock, the first Bioshock game.
Oh,
You remember her? I think. Was it the Fountainhead? Something like this. What's Anne Rice?
Fountainhead.
Something. I forgot.
Yeah,
Not
Ayn
Anne.
Rand.
And what?
Ayn Rand.
Let me check because Anne Rice, the who wrote the
It's,
interview with the
it's something.
vampire. Let me see. Yes, yes. Because I remember Snyder said he wanted to make this into a movie.
Yeah. I think there's also like a very subtle um connection between Zack Snyder and Ayn Rand in his movies. But it's a different topic by itself. But let's just say it like that. I'm not very big fan of this kind of ideology.
Mm,
But it's a big topic by itself.
yeah. And did you hear like he also I think he might make a movie about Alexander the Great and his gay lover. Like he was originally supposed to be a 300, a sequel movie, but then he the right was with Warner Bros. Then he just recently got the rights back to it, and he said it's gonna be very erotic, etc. It's gonna make it on Netflix. I don't know what if it's gonna be next project or not.
I have no idea.
You can Google it. If you seem
King
to
Arthur.
not King Arthur, Alexander the Great.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Snyder will produce Twilight of the Gods, inspired by Norse mythology for Netflix. Snyder's also developing a King Arthur film, which he said would be a faithful retelling, and for some reason set during the American Gold Rush era, which does not fit actually.
How the hell is this? This is like that Pinocchio movie with Pauly Shore, which is there to market as a true story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could be.
yeah. What was I talking about? Oh yes. So you find out like now that the king died, and then his second in command, forgot the cat's name, but it's the guy from Hawkeye who played I think Echo's right hand man. Remember the TV show Hawkeye?
Yeah.
That's actually I think that the main villain of the story, whom its kind was working for. That's him.
Oh, I actually forgot about it.
But you forget about a lot of actors who are in this movie. It's like, oh, that guy was in it. Like the fact you find
Yeah,
out that Corey Stoll, the bad guy from Ant-Man's in it.
yeah. He stood out for me at the beginning.
Corey Stoll, man, because they have them like in it, because I think Anthony Hopkins, like I said, he's wasted in this film. I hope he
Yeah,
got paid well, but I don't know how long he is in the sequel.
yeah. I was wondering that you would have a bigger role in the second part because it this one kind of baffled me also in a way like okay, we do need to have a C3PO like clone character, and he should sound at the most British you could get. And of course, you would be saying like Sir Anthony Hopkins.
He reminded me of that robot from the last Transformer Michael Bay movie. The Transformer
Oh
last time.
God,
Remember, Anthony Hopkins had a butler robot.
yeah.
He
But he
reminded me
was
of
also in. He was actually also in this movie.
yeah. At least in this movie, he's not saying dude, like in that. Oh, yeah. And this is, I have not seen the
Oh,
movie, but someone said that he runs. They make him run in the movie, and it looks very funny.
mm.
Okay, so you,
But I have to say, Sofia Boutella was actually a great choice for being the lead of this movie.
I feel
I've
like the
seen her
actors
in
are not bad. It's just that the material they were given, it's like it's not that good. That's all
yeah
I can
yeah
say.
yeah. I mean, Sofia Boutella was basically most of the time like secondary characters or evil
Every
characters,
time I've
like
seen her in a project,
maybe.
I actually did like her. And but the
And she
Kingsman,
was great in she was great in Star Trek
and she
Beyond.
was actually the main highlight of the Mommy movie with Tom
Yeah,
Cruise.
right, right.
Yeah, and
And for some reason, I haven't seen much during the last couple of years from her.
I think
But
I don't know, but I think I might have. Was she doing a TV show or anything? Let me check. She's Algerian too. I didn't know. Let me check.
yeah, she's
Tom Kingsman
Modern
performance.
Love by Amazon Prime. Then there's
Oh, she was
a
in that Nicolas Cage movie, Prison of the.
uh,
Maybe she took a break from acting, so like she want to take.
actually she does. She was in Guillermo del Toro's
They're
Cabinet of
not like high big
Curiosity.
profile, but there's like small stuff.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, but she was great
I
in
mean,
it
she was
actually.
still working. Because 2019, then 2020 was when she has Argyle also coming next year. What's this? The
Yeah.
Killer's Game.
Yeah, this is also a very interesting movie that's coming out.
There's also a comedy movie I think with Batista she's doing. Yeah,
Yeah, and of course the second part of this one.
there's a what was it? Oh yes, I forgot that Argyle's. It's gonna come theatrically then Apple TV.
Yeah, there's some kind of. I mean, I think Apple TV makes several combined releases right
I
now.
mean that new Mark Wahlberg they released it. You guys just went direct to them. They didn't release it theatrically like Napoleon and what was his name, Killer of the Flower Moon. And apparently they were impressed with Napoleon's box. I mean it was not I think like a box office hit, but it did more than what they expected with Napoleon. They're like we can release some other movies in theater.
Yeah, yeah. No, it does make sense actually.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure right now, you've heard the story, like Jake Gyllenhaal might be upset on Amazon because they're releasing, he wants Roadhouse remake to be released theatrically. Amazon's not releasing it, even when they screened it to Jeff Bezos on his boat, and they're still moving on Amazon Prime. And then now, or a few days ago, a report came out that, oh yeah, they're releasing The Rock's movie Red One on theater.
Great, great stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So we were talking about, oh yeah, so we talk about them, you can talk about the cast because the actors.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Corey Stoll is also in it, and is he supposed to be
Corey.
like a um mm, mm,
The
what
chief of the
they I
village.
mean what do you call
Like,
them, the Viking people, the Northmen, like this, because
yeah, he had his thing. The only thing that was putting me off a little bit was in the beginning when they had this festivities for some reason, and they was like, let's have an orgy and stuff like that. So this was kind of like, what the fuck is going on?
no, and of course we see it like it's beginning. I feel like they showed you like it's a small village and they're just growing corpse. It's basically like what we can call this movie is basically like They took the first part of Seven Samurai or Magnificent Seven, like most people know it, and the second part is gonna be the second half of the word. Because if you've seen the trailer, you know it's gonna be the second part of Magnificent
Okay.
Seven or Seven Samurai. It's, it's basically they're growing the cult of the island. The bad guys come in, led by its screen as what's his name? Is it Admiral or what he is?
Atticus Noble.
I know, but
Is an
what's his
admiral.
ranking?
Admiral.
Yeah, Admiral Noble. Of course, he comes in and his stick. He demands that they give them like of the share of the stocks, but he told about the. I just remember his name is Sindri, right? Kurt Stoll's character.
Atticus Noble.
Let me see. I'm talking about Sindri. Like he tells them, like, hey, you know what? We don't have the stock, and then he goes to. By the way, I'm just reading the next cast because some of the cast don't even. I even forgot what the actor's name. Me Gunnar, right? Because it's the guy. If you know him, he's the actor from Games of Thrones. It's funny enough, both him and Screen they played the same characters on Games of Thrones. You know this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ed Screen was the original actor, then he left and they brought him. What's his name? Is it Michael?
Michael Huisman.
Yeah, what the Kai said. So
As he's coming from the Netherlands.
he's a Dutch actor actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, he was also in what's that Mike Flanagan shit the first season, The Hunting of Hill House. He was one of the brother, and he was also recently what was that Blake Lively movie where I think it also had Harrison Ford in it, but I think you know which movie it is, right?
I'm blanking on it, but
But someone that she said doesn't age, and like she's I think she's an immortal or something like this. Yep. So anyhow, he Gunnar tells Admiral, he said Admiral Noble, right?
Yeah, Admiral Noble.
And again, I'm gonna say this again. I mean, like the movie is forgettable. Like sometimes I even forgot the character's name. So Kai will keep on reminding me. So I apologize in advance.
The only thing that's really standing out was Charlie Hunnam's character's name.
I wonder why. We'll get to him later.
Yeah.
And for
there are certain things for me that stood out.
And spoiler is like, not Han Solo, in case anyone was wondering.
No, definitely not. No, it was more like if it's. I mean, my name, my given name is very seldomly used in any kind of TV shows or movies, but kind of like when they were first mentioning his name, I was like, "What? Who is calling me?" and stuff like that. So it's really like very strange.
All right. So what was I? Oh yeah. So Gunnar tells the Admiral Noble like we do have some stock in it, and everything is this guy's fault. To tell you the truth, if he had, but at the same time you're like he's gonna kill someone, Admiral Noble. So he tells her, then he goes on, he kills Sindri, and he tells him, "I want my crops ready or else."
Yeah.
And of course we see like he leaves some men, the crew. We also get introduced to that android Anthony Hopkins character. We find out that he used to serve the king. Now because the king died, he's no longer serving anyone, and he's not even fighting. Like now you see how they're abusing him, etc. If I even say he's not gonna fight us, and of course he prevents the gear with the water bucket.
Yeah.
Is her name Sarah?
That's what. What?
Is her name Sarah? Something like this or something?
I'm looking through the list and not really like standing out right now.
See if it's
I think Sam is her name.
Sam. And from the teaser trailer, she might have a bigger role in the second film.
Yeah, I would be thinking like the first one was more like setting up like the entire universe, and this second would be like we're defending our part of the universe against the giant galactic empire.
Yeah. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so Sophia Patel, because you see her leaving, and then that's when she sees that they're attacking. Is it Sam, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're trying to to rape her, but she saves her. And then you see like he's holding her hostage. Then the Anthony Hopkins robot character comes in. You see him picking the gun, then he shoots him, and then he runs away.
Yeah, but you have to say at the beginning that they sort of like using the robot for shooting practices to some. They're really like shitting on
Is
him
this supposed to be
to
like
some degree.
made from materials that's non? It's like the because I don't think he's damaged enough because like his armor is on him.
Yeah, but I think the idea is that he gets shot by the soldiers, and he befriends Sam, and then this basically tips him off when he sees that they're trying to rape her, that he's going to help her and kill the soldiers.
Yeah.
Which is like his mini arc throughout this movie.
And that's it, and that's his arc, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
And
No, he stays, but
he runs away. I was like, that's it. That's what you're using Anthony Hopkins for in this film. Well, I hope he
the
got
hope
paid.
is that he has a bigger role in the second one.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he'll have the similar role as what's her name, Phasma from. If he's trying to make up what he did.
No. I was thinking like K2SO from Solo. No, not Solo. Rogue One.
Yeah.
This,
But I think you had more screen time and stuff to do in that film, K.
Yeah, exactly. My if you would be taking like this 2-movie thing, then like, yeah, you know what I mean.
But I would say there's people comparing it to Star Wars. For me, when I'm seeing it's like, it reminds me of that Wachowski movie, The Jupiter's Ascending. This film, more than because it's the style and the tone of the film, and also that both the films are boring, forgettable films.
Yeah, it's using so many tropes of it.
Royal families also, because that's also this old movie has royal family. And I think even the outfit of some of the cats look the same because. Yeah, so what was I talking? Oh yeah, so after she kills him and she tells him like just like it's going to be war with them. So she says like she takes a gun because you find out a gun he made a deal with the resistance. He tells them like, you take me now to these people to meet them. So they leave. And that's when they go on, they leave, and that's where she confesses to Gunnar that she used to be like an imperial soldier. Like, I forgot to mention the name of the motherboard, motherland,
mother planet,
motherboard.
Yes.
Is it something?
Yeah, something like that.
You can't find anything better than this word.
Motherworld.
Yeah. So, every time I keep saying I want to say motherboard. Seriously.
Motherboard, yeah.
Because that's the thing. I was like, you couldn't find another name for this. This like what was it that from Avatar, like what's that rock? Unobtainium. This felt like another unobtainium because like it's the laziest. It's like you couldn't.
There's some other things. I mean, there is this one planet which is like the next planet they are going to visit. It's called Welt. Written as VELDT. And as a German, this reminded me of the word Welt, which is like the translation of world.
So basically, it's like you're saying they didn't do a great job with the world building. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's basically like just looking at through some lexicon and translation book, and
it was like I don't know what's the good. It's like they have a mix of this word is good, we call it this one. This feels like they had like how sometimes you have like the stock word until you get the final word. Like sometimes you put this word feels like it's like they didn't got it. It's like I just released it like this.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. Mother.
It's like using the first draft throughout thing without like reiterating on it.
Yeah. And I heard that someone also mentioned like it just felt like it's like it was not a finished draft. And also, by
Yeah.
the way, if you hear me mentioning saying motherboard, don't correct me, okay? I'm gonna call it motherboard. I'm not gonna. I don't care for correcting. Okay. Okay. So you find out that she used to be a soldier for them, but the bad guy, the, the now who's like is the leader of the motherboards, whatever. What's his name? Bisalis, Batias, or something like this. I call him Basil. All right. We call him Basil for this because just to keep it short. So you find out that her family were murdered by the army, and then Basil like he take cares of her. He and raise her like his daughter. She becomes like a perfect soldier in the army. And I'll say this thing I only liked it because it reminded me of a Blizzard cutscene. Like like those Blizzard cutscenes. This is what it felt like. This scene, even down to that
Okay.
flag scene, because like how you sometimes you watch like the trade you do like for Diablos and stuff. This is what it felt like.
Mm.
In fact, the whole movie feels like a video game.
Yeah, it does. It does. It
And
really does.
and
Like
apparently, I
it
don't know because I
does
know
like
they're making
levels.
a game for on Netflix, but I read that Snyder even had the idea when before he made the films like I'm gonna make this into a video game originally.
Yeah, I think they wasn't there this one company that. Oh no, it was a board game.
They're suing
So there
them for I
was.
heard there's something like this, but I don't know the fact.
Yes, exactly. But I think that they also wanted to have a video game on on the
They
Netflix
announced it because,
platform.
because it was I think in the what was that he did in Germany? Was the Summer Game Fest?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's where he announced. He showed the first trailer, and he announced they were doing. Okay,
No,
go
no,
on.
no, no, no. Gamescom.
Was it Gamescom? Yeah, Summer
Oh
Game
no,
Fest is
no.
what he does in LA. Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. So many things he does. That Kaylee. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so she tells Gunnar her backstory and then that's where they go to that bootleg Moss. So what's the bar in Star Wars is called Moss Eisley?
Yeah, Mos Eisley
Yeah, we
Cantina.
yeah they go to bootleg Moss Eisley and then we see like the his contract is being taken by the bounty hunters.
Mos Eisley on Wish.
Moss Eisley in those productions like they make like Asylum.
Yeah,
But this
yeah,
one done but with a
yeah,
higher budget Moss Eisley.
yeah,
Okay. Even down to the creature stuff. I mean, they're not perfect like Star, but still, they feel like Mos Eisley.
It's the thing is that's basically I think the if you're looking through the videos of Screen Crush, they sometimes have these things where they compare one movie with another thing and compare them with regards to one scene. And I think this scene, if you compare it to Star Wars, to the OG Star Wars, I think this would be like the connecting scene where you can really compare both things with respect to each other, because the characters in the original Star Wars movie in this cantina, you could think about all those different aliens in there. And throughout the coming years, every one of them had their own kind of backstory. So this one was a smuggler, this one was this doing this was he was in a war and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And in this cantina scene, none of them have any sort of
It's
like
like the
personality
rejected
or
aliens
charm.
from Star Wars, like, I use these instead.
Yeah, it's just like random things sitting in the background and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Not really like having any kinds of personality.
Of course, like, because also one thing we forgot also to mention, besides finding the rebels, uh, it's like Sophia Butler's cat, her name is Cora in the film, but that's not her real name. That's her undercover. That's her like new name because we find out that I don't know what's her original name. I'm just gonna call her Cora because that's the name she gets called and easier to
Just
remember. She tells like we have to find the general who's we find out that it's what's his name Jaimin Hansu. Like we're gonna have him join us in our fight. But she goes
yeah.
because you couldn't find the rebels. It's like what about the general? Then you see that But this actually, this acting, this even remind me of like they stole that from the Arachni from Mass Effect.
Mm,
Remember, because that's how it's because that's how because this creature felt like the Arachni.
mm.
Even the whole movie feels like Mass Effect too, if you think about it. They're recruiting people to travel from planet to planet.
To some degree, but it feels more like a consecutive combination of cutscenes.
Yeah,
Where you have like, okay, now this scene is where we get this guy, and this scene we are getting this guy, and
yeah,
this scene you're getting this
yeah.
guy. And it's like
Oh,
just like this getting the band together kind of thing throughout the entire second act.
yeah. Yeah, because, and that's
And
when where that tentacle he tells like, oh, that general, he's in the planet, etc. He tells them, and does he also tell them where are, who tells them where the rebellion is at where, the location of the rebellion?
oh, wow, I
Was it
don't
the tentacle creature or was it Kai Charlie, Hanum's character?
could be Kai. I don't know. That's the thing. You're forgetting most of the things
Yeah, I mean we haven't
immediately.
even we haven't even talked to the part where its screen has sex with
The
a
thing is,
tentacle
the thing is,
monster.
the thing is, in retrospect, I have no idea how they're coming from planet to planet. It's for me, it's just
They're
like
opening a
in
vagina, they're
hindsight.
closing a vagina. That's all you do.
Yeah,
Always comes
not
back to the vagina,
no,
remember?
no, no, no. The reason why you are saying like I'm getting to the next planet. Why am I going to? Not the how. Why? That's the thing that's missing
Um,
in my brain.
the only explanation, I think the Kai gives an explanation. It's like, hey, you're looking for a crew. I know a guy here, and then because remember he takes them to that. We'll talk about it later. So basically, in the antenna, a guy tries to to he's molest Gunner, like say I want to bang him, and then she tells him no, leave him, and then they start fighting, start killing each other, and I think Kai is the one who tells them like where the location of the rebellion. He tells them like, but before we go to the general and the rebellions, he said I agree to help them. I'll take you guys to a guy. I think you can be a good person for your crew because I think they even tell him like, well, they're looking for an armed group of men. He takes him to that desert plans to where they meet the slave guy and the griffin.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now that the Harry Potter scene.
You're not the first one who said this.
It's the thing. This scene. I think.
He needed a scene with a flying scene, like cool to make it look cool. That's what he
Yeah,
wanted.
but it doesn't really make any sense for the rest of the movie because I was under the impression
He
he's
wanted
going
to
to
make
do
like
some,
like oh I'm gonna do a character like no story but I'll make something visual like I'm showing them that they're badasses. That's how.
yeah. You could do this any other way, but not like this.
Sometimes I feel like he's depending on the casting of the characters because Jamin Hansu, we don't see him doing things like, oh, but this is Jamin Hansu, that he's a badass, etc. Like, but we don't need introduction for him. I feel like he did rely on the casting for this one. What's his name? What's his Tarek, the slave who owned with the griffin. I think it's
Tarek,
yeah.
yes, Tarek, yes.
Because he's played by an actor until people know him. It's like you know what? I'm gonna show him this to show him a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me more like of a mixture of Avatar, so the James Cameron Avatar,
All right, that's
and
this felt like Avatar with the flying because they
yeah,
remember Avatar has, but that one looked better than this. And
yeah,
I would say this
definitely.
some that I was watching
And
it on my TV and my iPad. The some of the special effects didn't look that good. That's all I'm gonna say.
mhm. And pod racing, of course, to some degree because it's had
Still
some similar vibes. Pod racing from Star Wars.
Never. I was like, I don't
episode
think I can
one.
think maybe the flying griffin scene. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And by the way, we forgot to mention about the griffin thing. Like they made a deal. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna free him. Let him go if you can tame the griffin. If not, then you guys all gonna be my slave. But he tames it and then he lets him. It's like you're free. And of course, you know what the griffin does to the white guy.
yeah. That was the thing that gave me the most episode 1 vibes, because this guy reminded me of Watto. That was the thing.
No. He didn't look like Greg Miller. He can't be Watto.
Yeah.
Nah.
No,
He has to be
but he had
shirtless
him as a
and
slave.
he should be having pumpkins, you know? You need pumpkins
Exactly.
and you have to make him also a
Pumpkin.
Jewish stereotype. He was not a Jewish stereotype. Then you get that. You think I'm
Exactly.
going to get canceled for what we just said right now?
No. I mean, looking at the beginning of our things,
You know what? This
I
all
mean,
goes. The one to have problems with George Lucas, not that he's the one who created all this.
I mean, we've been talking about at the beginning that the curve of this video is basically a peak at the beginning, and then it's slowly fading outside. So nobody's seen
Someone's
this part of
watching
this
it right
video.
now.
We're not getting canceled.
He's gonna clip this, and then years later, people later just like, hey, what did you remember when you said this? You've been on Twitter, some dumbass. I was like, well, I was
Exactly.
joking, you dumbass.
Yeah, he's a good sport.
And also, if you want, like I said, if you want to blame someone, blame George Lucas. He's the one who created that. Don't come at us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, it's like the
Also, if I'm not mistaken, his wife is also black, and he created Jar Jar. And wait, he created Jar Jar before he met his wife, his current wife.
I don't see the connection, but yeah.
Jar Jar's supposed to be like the Stephen Fitch character. If you Google him, basically you find out why. A black stereotype. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
Yes, that's enough of this episode one. Because it's a topic for another day. Where was I? Oh yeah, so they succeed with the gift of the grave, and then they ask Kai, hey, do you know any other crew member? He takes them now to Blade Runner City, where we get to meet what's the name of that sisterhood that was the nice sister from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That's the name, right?
Oh.
Because that's what it felt like. With the
Yeah, to some degree. She had really like Jedi vibes to some degree.
She feel this was that's the movie Jedi, because she even has lightsabers.
Yeah, but not really like directly lightsabers, but lightsabers that have like this fade.
They look like the saber from Mandalorian. That's what it felt like. If you think about it.
Yeah, not really. It felt more like if you are making a scene with a lightsaber, and you would have
basically this is his own version of lightsaber in his universe. We're not gonna call it lightsaber, what we call it. And now I want to ask you this about the spider creature. That's Jenna Malone from Hunger Games, and she was also in Sucker Punch. And the director's cut for Batman v Superman. That's the spider. Did that spider remind you of anything from Star Trek? Because it reminded me of the Borg Queen.
Yes. I also had the immediate Borg Queen references, especially when she's coming.
Even she's coming, like she mentions children and stuff. It felt like something Borg Queen would say, right?
Yeah. She also with these kind of appliances that she had on her face, and this really gave out like Borg Queen vibes to me. So you're not the only one with that.
Yeah, and also my only knowledge of the Borg is First Contact. I have not seen all the Star Trek stuff. Thank God I have you here to explain. And you you agree with me.
First Contact is still my favorite
Next Generation movie
ever from Star Trek. Yeah. No, general Star Trek movie.
Even more over Wrath of Khan and what's that? The Voyage Home.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, I grew up with it, and
I also love that. I think that movie has the best score of all the Star Trek movies, because I like the intro theme a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see, where were I? Okay, so we saw like she kills that giant spider creature because she's trying to help him. Of course, there has to be giant spider creature. I don't know. Because I know that it's not John Peters' production, because you know John Peters, right? He's the guy who produced he's a weird producer. He had the fetish for spiders. Remember?
Oh yeah,
the Kevin Smith story. Remember?
The Kevin Smith thing. Yeah.
He wanted Nicolas Cage Superman to find a giant spider, and then it's so wild. This is a giant spider.
eventually got his spider in the Flash movie,
Oh yeah,
and of course in Wild Wild West.
yeah. And I saw that video. I think I saw it on YouTube. It's in short. Kevin Smith was talking about it. It's like my mom was in the hospital. She was in Philly. I got a call for someone. Hey, dude, I have something. It might cheer you up. He was like, but I have to spoil the Flash for you. Yeah, go ahead, say it. He's like, Nicolas Cage appears in the film fighting a giant spider. Isn't Superman? It's like, and he still. And then the next day, my mom got well. Man. Oh, okay. So what was that? It's the spider, and that's that. After that, we forgot to mention a screen that hentai tentacle creature. What was that story? It is supposed to show him that he's weird.
No, I think they wanted to get into more like a mixture of sort of like the Darth Vader character that he as I mean I got
He's
most of the
basically like
time
people say that
quite
he's like the Darth Vader character of the movie,
yeah,
but instead
definitely.
of choking, he has the stick.
Yeah, and this Balisarius would probably be the
Yeah,
emperor to
that's what
some
it feels like.
No, but it really felt like at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, where you can see like the burnt head of Darth Vader
Yeah.
from behind, where you can see that there's something happening going on over there. But it kind of reminded me also of the Bacta tanks. Whenever there's someone
Are you saying that
getting
the hentai creature is a Bacta tank in this movie?
yeah to some
I'm not
degree.
talking about the last scene. I'm talking about the scene where he's with the creature. It doesn't leave me alone.
No, the first one I got. The second thing was more like ew, kind of like feeling it felt more like a symbiotic thing that's going on. Some kind of like um
That felt like another scene from Mass Effect when Shepard is calling like the elusive man in Mass Effect 2.
yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Also strangely connected to the Borg itself. If we have this Star Trek connection again, because most of the Borg drones also have like direct connections towards any kind of like ship connection. And whenever they are going in as a separate drone throughout the ship, they are basically the tubules are coming off, getting shooted off,
Okay.
and somewhat reminds me of that as well.
All right. I think now it was after this that we get actually the scene we see they go to meet the general, the Jaimin Hansu character. What's it? Titus, right? Is that his name?
I just
Yeah. But for a second, I thought they were gonna show him like he's a gladiator fighting him. As instead, no,
yeah.
we see him as a drunk.
the the thing is, whenever they're started on this world, I immediately felt, okay, this is going to be the next big scene that's happening throughout the movie. Like, we are going to
Do you
spend the
think
next half
they
an
came
hour
across
on
as
this
Ridley
planet.
Scott Gladiator 2? You know, sitting it's like, oh, let's film this.
It felt more like a 300 repeat to some degree, because I was really feeling like, okay, we are going into this kind of coliseum in
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and we are going to see some fights over there, and with bare-chested, six-pack persons running throughout this thing with big muscles on top of them, and they're going to fight until the end of their lives, and nothing happens.
Nope, because
And
especially when you got Jamin Hanso, who himself is a badass also.
I was so shocked to see him so jacked up. I was thinking like, wow, um, he did some gym time in the last couple of
I
months.
think I don't know how big of his role because I know he's going to be in Gladiator 2, but I don't know how big his role in that film. Because I know Denzel's in it, Pedro Pascal's in it, Paul Mescal is going to be the lead, and what was it? Connie Nelson's coming back. I mean, they have some big names in that film, but we don't know how the movie's going to turn out. No, going off topic, to mention discuss. Did you see Napoleon?
Nope, not yet.
Oh yeah, okay, because that's also a 3 hour long movie. So they get the. You're reading about the Gladiator too.
Gladiator 1.
Uh, that's actually a
Because I
good
haven't
movie.
haven't haven't seen him on the list for Gladiator 2.
Mm. Because the last thing he was in before that, it was the Gran Turismo movie. He played the dad
Yeah.
of the racer. So what was I? Oh yeah, so I think it's after that we see that the bounty is taken to Admiral Noble, the guy who was supposed to actually Gunner's contract, where he tells them like with the location of the rebels. It's on the planet. What was it? I forgot, but that fish creature who's voiced by Tony Amadell or something, because he was also in Star Wars. Also, remember the Jedi like BB-8. But what's that? The robot in Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, Kai's companion.
It
Was it
could
BD-8?
be BD1.
Yeah,
You
BD-1.
mean
Yeah, his owner. But you
BB8?
know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
it,
but Tony Amendola I know from Stargate, who had a very big role there, and he was basically some kind of father figure to the character of Tialk.
BD-1
Uh,
is actually the robot I was thinking.
yeah, and you know who Tialk was in Stargate SG-1? He was played by Christopher Judge,
Mm,
um, of a certain God of War kind of
yeah.
game.
So what was I talking? Oh, yeah, so they travel to that planet and to find the rebels. They meet them and we find out one of them is played by Ray Fisher, like the sibling. And they tell them their stories. They say that we cannot find. Then Ray Fisher, I'll call him Ray Fisher because that's his name. But the Blood Axe, right? That's his name.
Darian Blood Axe.
So Darian, he says, "I'm going to join them. I'll take if any of the crew wants to join me," and they all join with him. And
Darian Blood Axe is such a D&D name. If I ever hear something like that, it's
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And of course, you see, like also we've got to mention that with Noble was. Never mind, because it's the side because I remember because Noble also gets that like see that a contact of them said they got the location of Dan one of the blood axes. We find out
Yeah.
later what it who was it. So that's when with you after they get Darian blood axe and some screw just like and he even tells his sister like leave the planet. This kind of Noble will kind of come. Man, when he comes in, he destroys that planet. That's
Yeah,
supposed to be the
that's
Death Star weapons. What they were doing.
I don't know what is a Death
It's more
Star
like a
weapon,
Star
but
Killer. What's this? For Star Making, that's the name of the ship, Star Killer, something like this. But you get my idea what I'm trying to because it looks like he blew up the whole planet.
Yeah.
And that's I think where he finds actually the.
I also forgot about this scene. Actually, that's the thing.
I'm just reading about flashback, see what I can think of. It was there that he gets actually the tip that the location of one of the Blood Axe sibling, and then you see Kai. He tells him like, "Hey, before we leave, I have to go deliver a package." That's when you're like, "Oh, he's going to betray," and he does. You find out that he betrays to the Emperor. Then you find out which characters who like Tarek. You find out he's a prince of a tribe that got killed. I mean, I forgot what's it? The Jedi lady. Because that's an actor that she was in with the Wachowski some movies, right?
Duna Bay, Nemesis.
In Nemesis. Talk about the generic name. There's even a character in that. What was that? Samaritan movie with Stallone.
No, she was in Cloud Atlas, Jupiter Ascending.
Man, I can't believe she was in Park Chan-wook's movie also. Oh, she's a Korean. I thought she wasn't Cloud Atlas. Talking about. Joe will fight for this movie, Cloud Atlas, because he loves it.
Yeah,
You
I mean, she was one of the most interesting characters throughout the movie because her character design was so
but it still feels like a character, like you
different.
say. But you can see that's a character you mentioned. It's supposed to be like a Jedi character.
Yeah, and I would have felt more like if they would explain more like what she's been doing, what kind of powers she's having with these kind of
She's
lightsabers. That
cyborg.
yeah, but what's her story? That's the thing.
Oh, she lost her children because they was they were the cyborg who lost her children, decided to go revenge on the Empire, and then you find out like uh, Korra, he even says like that's her real, and then Kai like tries to make Gunners like, you can just kill her so long, but you have to make it Gunners the one who killed her because of course Gunner instead takes the gun, he kills Kai and let her go. This when everyone starts fighting each other, then uh, Darius sacrifices himself to destroy the ship, and then Korra, she ends up fighting and and beating the hell out of Noble, and then it looks like we think she kills them, and she throws them off the what's that? What's you were fighting on a Bowie, something like this, the space Bowie, something like that.
Could be.
So basically, they fight each other on top of the speed, and she threw him off the cliff.
Yeah, he's basically falling into the deep and into some kind of nebula and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And you would think like, oh, he's
yeah,
dead.
he's dead because she beat the hell out of him. She even his teeth him took. Who knows? That's one thing. Then of course, and after they defeat them, and just like they go back to the village and just like they all think like, oh, did you think we're gonna have to now? They say something like we're gonna have to prepare now because the more people might come to fight us because of what we did.
Yeah, yeah, we
And
have we have to fight, and it would be a very interesting place to defend or to die
yeah,
there and stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. And Tarek actually makes that up, and also we see like Titus is like, you don't happen to be the Kai said you're that person. You don't happen. She tells him no, I'm not. He was lying. She doesn't tell him that she's actually the what's his name? The Basil. What's his name? Basilis. Like,
Balisius.
I'm calling him Basil for this one.
Belisarius. So
He's
sorry.
trying to make him sound like a character from the Roman Empire. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he said you're not happy because you know that she's the guy who wrote it. She still know he's lying. Oh, we also forgot to mention that Korra, we find out also in her black that she used to. Who does she tell this story to? Like, that she used to babysit the king's daughter.
She does tell the story, but I mean, basically at that point, like the persons around her or something. I don't know actually. So sometimes those flashbacks are more like thrown in between.
I wonder if in the deleted scene we find out that she witnessed the prince's death. That's one thing.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's you don't really know whether
You
this
think
is
she's really dead or not? Because I don't think she's dead, the princess.
that's a big question. I don't know actually.
God, because I hope not in the sequel, the part 2, you reveal the twist that what's her name? Sam is actually the princess. Because remember, what was his name? Anthony Hopkins Roberts. Like, you remind me of the princess.
Yeah.
That explains why he was able to shoot that soldier to give it. Because that'll be a stupid thing if they reveal that's the twist.
Yeah, but also like what we were talking in the beginning, it's like the reversal of the names of the movies. It would make more sense for the second movie at that point if she would become a bigger part of the story.
Man. Because what would be your reaction if this turned out to be the twist? I was like, I'll be like, get it. I mean, it's not as bad as that Moonfall twist, but still.
Yeah. The thing is, right now, the biggest question that I'm having with this movie, all those questions that we are having with the backstories, the personalities and stuff like that, is this going to be addressed in the extended cut or in part 2? And that's basically the biggest issue that I'm having with this movie right
Yeah.
now. I mean, because I do feel that there is enough backstory to fill in the gaps, but the question is, where do they address them? If they're saying like, if this is being addressed in the extended cut, I was saying like, why do you need to have an extended cut with that?
This is also
Why?
Netflix. They can give you permission to do how much you want. I mean, I want to know. I actually wonder whose decision was it. Was like to take out. Was it like Snyder just like, hey, you know what? I'm doing business. Then I feel like sometimes me like Netflix told them like, hey, you know what? Don't make this long because you can have this do your own cut, but release some. We need a PG-13 cut.
It's at that point. I've seen lots of speculations. First of all, like the official interviews that you are having with Zack Snyder, who was saying like, okay, we wanted to have a PG cut, and sometimes during the cutting, we were seeing like, okay, there is potential for an R-rated cut. So now we are working on an R-rated cut, which is longer than the original one. So, but this thing, which is basically backstory,
And
does this
also
make
this
this
thing, also you know what?
R-rated?
Why did you have to come out and say there's gonna be a director's cut before the movie come out?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
the same thing
this is
also with BVS. I remember he was saying before the movie comes, it's like, oh, don't worry, there's gonna be an extended cut. Don't announce an extended cut or anything. Just have the movie come out, and then later just
yeah.
like, hey, look, we're doing an extended cut for the movie in case you want to see more details. Or I know Tarantino did the same thing with the Hateful Eight. He was like, hey, you know what? After the movie came out, hey, Netflix gave me permission to add more scene, turn into a TV miniseries on.
Yeah, it's it's from a marketing standpoint, it's very baffling. I mean, there are some sayings that they're thinking about, like the notoriety of Zack Snyder in general, to have like, okay, first a theatrical cut, and then eventually there's an extended version that's longer and bigger and better and stuff like that. That has gone back to the age of
Blade Runner.
not only not Blade Runner, but like in Zack Snyder's history, through the Watchmen movies, for example, where there's an extended cut which is much longer than the original thing. But it's it's very different, I think, to like Peter Jackson, having a look at his extended versions of Lord of the Rings, for example, where you can say, okay, the original theatrical cut of the Lord of the Ring movies is a standalone movie that you can watch on its own. In hindsight, you would, as a fan, you would say, okay, I'm most of the times only watching the extended versions of it because it's like extending, giving you more lore
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But overall, the movies itself stand on their own, and for this kinds of movies, it really feels like that
Most of this time is
essential.
studio interferes like with cameras also, and also sometimes you feel like studio have to interfere like, stop making 3 hour long movies. Can't you just make? Sometimes you watch and you're like,
That's
man, this scene's
that's
unnecessary. Why do you have to put this scene? Etc.
that's the thing. That's the thing. In the past, there had been 3.5 hour movies on Netflix that have been specifically made for Netflix.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure why you would have
Also,
two
you know,
different
you
versions.
talk about the 3 hour long. No, the Irishman. I think
The
it was
Irish.
okay, but the desert. But I don't think the viewership kicked that well. But you talk about Snyder. I think you'll get the viewership with Snyder even if it's 3 hour long.
The thing is, you could also market it in a sense that you can watch this movie twice. You're giving basically one movie double the amount of watching time, which is a very interesting thing from a marketing perspective.
All right. See what else?
There are also like this other things where you can say that Netflix needs to have for their investors a big budget movie around Christmas for Q4 in 2023, and this happens to be then Rebel Moon at that point because it's like the hype level is so big, and I think the second one is scheduled for April, I think.
It's April.
So it would be beginning of Q2, which is the beginning of
That's basically in 4 months, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but it's the beginning of the financial year 2024. So I'm talking right now in financial investor speak kind of things. So that you can basically have Rebel Moon Part 1 at the end of the financial year 2023, and then the second part at the beginning of the next financial year.
Yeah.
So from a investment kind of thing, it's a equal spreading throughout 2 financial years.
Yeah. And also, we forgot to mention the movie does also after that sentence where we find out that Noble is alive and he gets taken to speak with the Emperor Basil, whatever his name. He tells him like his daughter is alive and he promised that he's going to kill her. And that was it.
This post-credit scene felt more like a.
It felt like some scene from the open. It was, I think, the part 2 should open with.
Yeah, it really felt like a I am your father kind of thing at the very end. Sort of like Star Wars.
But they already tells that he's the one who raised her, because remember in her flashback, she says that he took care of me after I tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And that's the movie Rebel Moon. I try to remember as much as I can. That's what I can remember. It's a forgettable movie, and some of the stuff that dialogue to it speaks felt like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Especially when we do the last image, you can see some of the ways the way the camera shot was on the face cut and the dialogue felt the same. And like I said, this felt more like Jupiter Ascending than Star Wars.
Yeah, I feel it.
In general, it's an unredeemable movie. In your turn, Kai, you can go and speak.
I have to postpone this thing. Actually, I have to say I want to see the extended cut first before I can, because I do feel that this thing has a redeemable quality, regardless of like this current version that we are seeing. For me, it feels like this movie is the equivalent of the day one release of Cyberpunk 2077.
But less dildos, but no dildos.
Something like that. But it really feels like that you would need to have several updates for it until it eventually becomes a great game.
You told them to put Idris Elba in the movie to be good?
Yes, Idris Elba will be in the DLC in the extended cut.
And then he'll come out just like now the movie's good.
Like that. Something like that. No, but I was thinking more like the updates that are coming in, regardless of the DLC that's coming out. But looking at what the state of the game was when it came out in 2020, with regards to how the game looks like in 2023, which is a very different kind of game experience that you're having, and that's my fear that that we are going into some kind of like this situation that you would have a day one release of a movie.
And that's even what's happening with Napoleon. You heard like so this cut's like, oh yeah, I'm releasing a 4-hour cut, but he said I think he's gonna edit to a main series on Apple TV.
Yeah, that's the other question. If you have a right now the movie is 2.5 hours long.
Right? I think at 15 minutes, 15 something like this, wasn't? Yeah, which I'm glad it's not 2.5 hours.
2 hours and something. So the question is, how long is the extended cut going to be? Will
I
it
think
be
he said
4
an
hours,
hour
for
long.
example? Yeah, then we would be more like in a 3.5, 4 hours kind of thing.
Because I know Napoleon is 3 hours long. That's the original, the theatrical cut.
Yeah, no. Just extending on this idea. So the second movie is also going to be probably around 2.5 hours, and
Or maybe longer.
this extended yeah, and maybe this extended cut of this second movie will also be around 4 hours. So combining those things will probably put it in the range of 7 to 8 hours in total. If you're taking like the extended cut of the first movie and the extended cut of the second movie. So my question is, at that point you would have a mini series of 8 episodes. If you would recut it to a 8-episode mini season, would this be a better release schedule compared to releasing 2 parts of a movie in comparison to 10 or 8 to 10 episodes of a mini series or TV series? Because right now I'm looking at some of the Apple Plus TV shows, and they're very into sci-fi based TV shows like Foundation, Silo, For All Mankind, and stuff like that. And they're really embracing this kind of format for these kinds of stories. And my fear is, if you're just having a look at the second act of this movie, like when she's going from this planet to this planet to this planet to this planet, it really feels like this could be 2 or 3 episodes of a TV series, where you can really like expand on each planet that they're visiting and stuff like that. Really giving you more as a vibe of like getting the band together and stuff like that. And my fear is that putting it out as a double movie thing is basically the wrong format for this kind of story. That's like my gut
There have been some
feeling at
people
that.
who to show like people say, man, this should have been a TV show instead of a movie, etc. But I don't know if the TV show, because the problem, I feel like if I don't know how I would thought if it was a TV show, because it depends
The thing
also
is,
on the extended cut. What are the scenes that he's not? That's also another thing. Depends also.
yeah, but you can really extend on some of the themes and some of the planets and giving more backstory and stuff like that. And I mean, right now it's credited on Wikipedia that they're having sort of like a budget of 166 million.
Let's combine both of the films, right?
Combines both of the films, and this is well in the range of TV shows that are currently produced on
Yeah.
those things. So
If you even say that some of the visual effects quality didn't look like a movie quality, because I saw Army of Darkness that had better special effects than this.
I mean, you could think of like different ways to show intergalactic traveling and not really like flying through a giant vagina.
Yeah. Again, I wish Andy was here. That should be the new drinking game every time someone says vagina.
Yeah, space vagina.
And before people complain to us, blame Zack Snyder. He did this, not us, in the movie.
Yeah. We're just commenting on it.
Yeah.
We're not.
Look, I say, you know what? Let's wait and see what the extent, because I might have to see the extended cut, because I don't know if whether part 2 they're gonna end up using the first theatrical cut with the PG-13, because he might end up explaining. You might have showed something. We thought, oh wait, if this thing would make sense if you saw the extended cut, because I don't know how he's gonna edit the film. So I say we have to wait for. If you want to probably to review it, we'll wait for the extended and see how it is. But if I have to review this, like I said, it's gonna be unredeemable. But I'll wait for the extended cut and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
because I'm actually more in the middle of it.
Yeah, we'll wait. And I think that's it for today's episode. Thanks, Kai, for joining me. And where do you want people to the
Always a
people
pleasure.
where they can find you?
Basically, you can find me on any of the socials
Oh,
under @Ave_Krynet, on Twitter slash
uh,
the platform formerly known as Twitter.
uh, that's a
Also, now also on Threads, because Threads is
oh, that's
now
right. Fritz is
available in
with
Europe.
now is in Germany. Yeah, go follow him in Threads too. And I was
Yeah,
we're also waiting for Blue Sky to go Bob. Like we still it's still in beta. Let's
yeah.
hope this one gets does everything well. And as for me, just go to Linktree slash YAZ300 Pro for all my links of the website. If you want something easier, go to YouTube Redemption of the Rotten. It's also on Spotify and iTunes and other podcasts that's available. Redemption of the Rotten. Like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, reviews, and what else? Anything basically to give us to spread the word, share it, tell people to like and subscribe us so we can get more viewership. Maybe heck, we might get more audience and a reason to create more content, other stuff beside maybe Redemption of the Rotten. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you're listening to this, I don't know when I might post it. I'll try to post it maybe on Sunday, the 31st. So I'll try to post it before, you know what, before the New Year's for you guys. Wait, for before the New Year, because that'll be like by the time I do this, might be a New Year. So happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.